Hey guys, wanted to do a quick video today on the disc dampener that I'm running on my RM box stock. This is actually a requested video from one of my subscribers. So I'll let you know up front, I'm not affiliated with any of these companies. I don't get anything sent to me. All my racing stuff comes out of pocket on my own. So just so you know, I'm not getting this stuff for free or getting anything for doing reviews or whatever. Now on this, I know most guys are used to PN racing stuff, and there's some other big names out there for 128 scale stuff. I decided when I had bought this before I got into doing the PN cars and stuff that I have now, and this was just a little bit better price, so I went with the Nexx speed, and it's worked great. The kit comes complete to do the conversion. It's really simple. You take, on mine, I took the stock shock off. You can run it with the stock shock connected here, and then it's got the mount up front here for the shock to mount to. If you choose to, some bodies it'll work on, some it won't. On the John Marima body, just to get the disc dampener working on mine the way I wanted it to, and get the body low enough, I had to drill a hole here in the back of the window to get full travel and everything, so it would work properly. And then with the body the John Marima body sit kind of low on the car, so that it was just binding a little bit on the edge, so I chose not to run it. And my ride height is where I want it anyway without it. So, and what it does is it just frees up the rear end of the car to be a little more consistent than what it is with the stock shock on it. Now there are the kit itself, like I said, comes with everything you need. It comes with the dampener plates. It comes with the shaft. You actually have to take the motor case apart to install the shaft for the disc dampener, because it doesn't use the same one like a regular box stock. See, the box stock one uses this little plastic piece in here, and this gets taken out, and then there's a shaft that goes on there that the disc dampener goes onto. And the instructions and everything that come with it are really, really good. It shows you exactly how to put it in. There's a spacer that goes underneath, so you can get a nut and a bolt in here if you do want to run a shock on it. The kit also comes with a couple of extra sets of springs. I run on RCP, so I set the rear suspensions of my cars up to be as soft as possible. So that brings me to the next point. You can get better dampening with the disc dampener than you can with the stock shock, but it's still you're not gonna notice much of a difference unless you also change the T-plate off the bottom. I run a soft T-plate on the bottom of this car. This one's carbon fiber, and like on my other box stock, you can see this one a little bit better. This one's a fiberglass one, but they're both the soft T-plates. So, and it just did the car for me. The car handles a lot better like this. There's some other stuff. I'll do another video on suspension and stuff on the MR03 chassis, because there is a little bit more that you should do other than just changing the disc dampener. You should actually change out your front springs, and on the front of my car, I'm running the PN upgraded knuckles, so I can adjust my ride height and stuff like that. And I know there's a lot of videos out there already on it. If you guys are running these MR03s and you haven't done the Kingpin flip mod on it, look that up on YouTube. You need to do the Kingpin mod, because it frees up the front end so much more on these cars to work better. It's just it's so much smoother than the way they come factory. Everything is so smooth, and that's what you want, is smooth suspension travel. And there's some other features that I like better about these PN knuckles. They use the 3mm axle shafts, and so it's just they're better to me. They're better all around. But the disc dampener works fine. So I know a lot of guys are wondering, you know, if one's better than the next. It's all, I think some of this stuff is personal preference on what you want to do. Because like on my other box stock car, now this one's like pretty much all stock except for a couple of things. I put only because I had it, I put a piece on the front up here that protects the front springs from popping out. This one I haven't, the other car I haven't needed it on, so I haven't done it yet. I have a couple of these left, so if I get to the point where those springs start popping out of it, I'll put one of these on it. I just put one of these on this one to try it. Now on this car, this is still the stock setup that the MR03 comes with, except that this is the upgraded Kyosho oil-filled shock, so you can adjust your suspension with that to a 0.2 by changing to a different oil in the shock, whatever. Again, like I says, I went to the soft T-plate on the bottom. Now, if you don't have a disc dampener yet, you might try just changing to a soft T-plate on the bottom and see if that lets your car do what you want it to do. It's all, like I said, a lot of this stuff is a personal preference on what you want to do. I know that a lot of guys, once they get, like if they're using this setup that I'm running here, you can actually use, by threading the shock bottom in and out, you can adjust your ride height and get it where you want it. On my box stock cars, they're all set at, I set everything at 2.5 millimeters, because when the car's under acceleration, it's gonna suck down just a little bit, and so it's probably running when the car's running with throttle on. My ride height is probably at about 2 millimeters, which is perfect, or perfect for what I wanted it to be able to do. So, and then just so you guys have an example, there's other companies like this is my PN car. This is one of my 2.5 cars. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with this one, because at the time when I got this one, this was a AAA stock car. So you had a couple of options. You could run a 3500 kV brushless motor, or you could run the stock Kyosho motor or the PN 70 turn motor with a 14 or 16 tooth pinion on it, and run this in the same class. So this one has a bunch of PN stuff on it. So this is the PN disc dampener and shock kit, and they're a little bit more expensive, but it works. I mean, it essentially works as good as the Nexx racing. It's just a different application for the different car. So, and it was, most of this car is PN except for the front end. It's got a Nexx racing front end on it. Excuse me. That works really well. It's just a little bit different than I like on my primary PN car for stock now, it's got a 3500 kV brushless motor in it, and it's got the PN AA arm front end on it, which I like a lot better, because it's got a ton of adjustment and a ton of stuff you can do with it, and it's much more tunable, but it's also a lot more expensive. So the main thing I'm getting at though is that there's different disc dampeners out there. I think essentially is, if you get them tuned properly, they all work the same. They just have different parts and options that you can do with them. Like on this one, you actually slide this collar right here forward and backward and put tension on it to adjust your ride height of the car. So it's just, like it says, a lot of it is just, will be preference on what you want. I got the Nexx racing because it was on a special, and it was when I first got into Mini Z racing, and I think it was only like $25 or $30 for the kit, and it came complete with everything. So I think the PN is about $35 or $40. I'm not sure anymore if it comes with the shock or if you have to buy the shock separate. I just did, the the two PN cars that I have, I bought used from a buddy that I raced with, and it came with all of this stuff set up on them already. So this one I built over a period of time. This was a all like 100% stock MR03, and I put the stuff on it to bring it up to spec to run in the RM spec class that we run, because there's a few things you can do to the car. The one thing I wish they would open up is to be able to run a pod on the back of these RM cars instead of having to run the factory motor case. Because one of the problems, if you're doing a lot of racing, you guys are going to want to keep an eye on the motor plates that hold the motor in, because they will crack and break on you, and then your mesh gets all messed up. And I change mine out periodically, more than I probably should, just because of that. Because you do have to run the stock diff in the RM class, but the stock diff will also fit in like a PN or Nexx racing pod, which I wish we could run on these, because then you just adjust the ride height and stuff with the pills on the back of the motor case, and it makes it much easier. But until they change the rule, it is what it is, so you have to run them like this. So anyway, I hope this will clear up any issues, or if you're making a decision on buying, a disc dampener, it'll help you make a decision on buying one or whatever. This Nexx racing one is held up really well. It's really smooth, and to me, it was worth the money to buy it. I think I actually got this one on at the time when I bought this, I was real new to Mini Z, and so I think I actually ordered this one on Amazon, but there weren't a lot of them left. But you can get Nexx racing, I think, from A-Main has a bunch of stuff, and I think Keenan has stuff. I'm not sure of Wolfram and Super G. I think they're mainly PN. So anyway, I hope this helps you guys. And I've got a couple of other videos I'm working on to put up, and some other cars I'm doing. And as I get them run on the track, I'll get videos up of them. I have another video I did just recently on just the box stock cars, and then I also ran them on the track. So I need to get that video edited and get the track footage cut into it, and then I'll get that one posted also. But I wanted to get this one up today because of the subscriber asking questions about the Nexx racing disc dampener. So me personally, I would recommend it. So I haven't had any issues with anything that I've gotten that's been Nexx racing versus PN. So hopefully this will help you guys. So I will get this posted, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.